Hello, my name is Erin Dotson. Welcome to my artifact project. Let's get started. So the overview for this project, it was very interesting. Definitely good to know if you had an emergency situation where you needed to send a recording to a student who may be sick or anything like that. I'm going to start off with some questions about my personal experience in EDU 341 Instructional Technology class. After that, I have a couple of demonstrations for you guys over 2 different technologies that I have learned to use over the semester. They should be very informative, simple, and I hope easy to follow. So the first question is, how much did you know about educational technologies before starting this course? I only knew basic technology. I grew up with very little technology. I learned a few things late in high school and early college, but little compared to what I've learned in this class. Second question, have you changed any ideas you used to have about educational technologies? I know about more technologies and websites that do similar things. For example, PowerPoint, Google Slides, and Prezi. They're all completely different programs, however, they all 3 make presentations. It really all depends on your style and what you like, because all 3 of these programs go about making a presentation in different ways and have different themes and styles and way they go about things. So it just really boils down to what you like. Question number 3, what problems did you encounter while you were working on your assignments? How did you solve them? Technology has definitely not been one of my strong suits. I struggled with some assignments and some I managed to do just fine. Making PowerPoints and papers were fine to me. However, trying to use, let's say Scratch to make a game was very challenging, and after 3 attempts of trying to make a very simple game, I never could get it right. So the more complicated these technologies became, the harder it was for me personally. To try to solve them, I just reviewed everything as much as I possibly could, and I just did it over and over and over to try to get it right. And sometimes I got it right, and sometimes I didn't. Question number 4, what did this course reveal about you as a learner? This course showed me to try to be patient, and I have to do things not necessarily that I really like. I learned some new things, and I just tried to be patient with everything else. I like to sit and understand things. I like to lay everything out on the table and understand each part exactly. And working with technology, that's not always the case. Trying to solve a problem with the computer, it's just trial and error. You can try to do this and it may work or it may not work. And you can't always figure it out, and that's just really frustrating to me. Alright, one of my demonstrations, I'm going to show you guys how to use Google Docs. The importance of Google Docs is you can make papers and handouts for class, and you can also use Google Docs for a job, to either get a job or it may be part of your job to impress future customers. And I have an example of that for you right here, and then you have the logo right here. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to show you kind of how it works. It's basically laid out the same as Word. You just type whatever you want, and you can highlight, bold, italicize, underline, highlight. Same thing as Word, basically. Do all the different things. I do like using Google Docs because you can share. The share button right here, and you can share with people, put their email address and send it to them, and they can go on here and work on a project together, which is really nice in college when you have group projects, because you can all work on it together in your own time and everybody gets their stuff done. And that's Google Docs. The next demonstration that I'm going to show you is how to use Google Slides. Google Slides is basically like PowerPoint, used to make presentations or slideshow. Can be used as in the classroom as well as on the job. Same thing, just Google Docs. I have another one of my personal examples and the logo right here. And I'm going to just show you an example over here. You got your title and your subtitle. You can add different slides with different layouts. Anything you want. You've got your themes over here. You just kind of scroll through and see what you like. I like this one. Alright, then you can add your new slide and enter whatever you like. You say, like, your 10 facts about Bethel University, for just my personal example. And you can share this with other people to work on group projects, which is really nice. Another thing with Google Docs and Google Slides, it's really nice too, because as long as you're connected to internet, they automatically save every single letter that you type, so you don't have to stress about that. So that's really nice. That is my artifact project. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and thank you so much for watching.